Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the newest edition of Generations of the Game podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, JP, and of course, we got the man who makes it all happen right here with us. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Will Lyons back. We here again to talk that talk, generations of the game. What's going on, JP? Been a minute.
It's been a minute, brother. What's going on? A lot's been going on, man. A lot's been going on, especially in the basketball world.
For sure.
So we need to start from there. I guess what do you want to start with, college or the pros, Will?
We could probably, do college first and then, finish up with the pros with that.
All right. And here we go. Of course, as you all know, the portal right now is crazy. Well, it's closed now, but the portal was crazy. Will, give us your winners of the college basketball portals, bro, for the upcoming
Man,
season.
so man, it's been so on the men's side, we got St. John's hit the portal hard. I'm gonna be honest. Rick Pitino hit the portal so hard. I had to ask somebody how many roster spots St. John's even had because it just seemed like they added a new player every single day. But St. John's, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you the rundown on who St. John's added so we can the big one, Ian Jackson, former McDonald's All-American out of New York, had a year at UNC, Josan Sanon, another, freshman bucket, that was at Arizona State. Mosiah Sellers from Stanford, Dylan Mitchell from Cincinnati, formerly at Texas. Honestly, they just and they added more than that. They added a big man from the SEC, like Rick Pitino. To be real about it, he got in trouble at Louisville, but if that blemish isn't on his record, even with that blemish on his record, man, I think people forget, man, Rick is easily one of the best to ever do it, man. Like easily one of the best to ever do it. And if he stays at Kentucky, to be honest, like I feel like, man, he might have, given K a real run for his money. But it is what it is. St. John's did their thing. Of course, my Kentucky Wildcats, Mark Pope and that staff went crazy, like crazy. And it was funny because the fan base, they on social media, man, they was up in arms. They're like, man, we ain't get a player yet. The portal had only been open like 3-4 days. It's like, man, we ain't get a player yet, man. Pope, what is Pope doing? What are they doing? What was it? The kid from UNLV and then the kid Dent from New Mexico that ended up at UCLA. When they chose their schools, man, the fan bases were freaking out. Next thing you know, we got Jalen Lowe, we got Cam Jackson, and the players just kept rolling in. And my favorite addition, of course, is Jalen Lowe, from Pittsburgh, the point guard. He's a problem. But Jaden Quaintance, JP, we talked about this kid, man. If he comes back healthy, he is dominant, dominant defensive presence, steadily improving offensive player, and you put him around actual point guards, playmakers, a lot more than he played with at ASU, it's going to be a problem, man. And then the biggest thing in this portal era is not always who you add, but who you keep. Of course, they're bringing in Jasper Johnson, Malachi Moreno, quality freshman class. But if Otega Owe withdraws from the NBA draft, I'm telling you now, the Final Four, just put Kentucky in your bracket right now. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, bruh, I agree. Kentucky, man, Kentucky and St. John's definitely cleaned up, bruh. Definitely cleaned up. And like you said, the kid from Ohio State, what's his last name? Well, I butcher names sometime. The kid from Arizona State.
Arizona State, Quaintance.
Quaintance. Quayton's, man, he's a lottery pick.
Yep.
Like you said, he comes back healthy and strong. He's a lottery pick. Definitely, maybe definitely a top 5 to 7 pick in the draft. Pope, man, he did wonders. And as you said, Rick Pitino, man, and Will, check this out. He might not be done because if Boogie Flag comes back, he's probably gonna go to state jobs. You add that, they might be the best team in the country preseason.
Listen, bro, they add Boogie. My goodness, that's gonna be man. Man, and bringing up Boogie, that brings up, I got to give Cal his props too. Arkansas did their thing in the portal for sure.
They did.
They picked up Ewan, the big man from Florida State. That was a hell of a pickup, man. Like, hell of a pickup. And again, to me, the biggest thing with Arkansas is who they bring back. Keeping Billy Richmond, keeping Jay, but still, bringing in Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas. They got Brazil coming back. Like, Cal, man, this is probably going to be the best, not probably, but it should be the best Arkansas team he's had so far. And he's had some good ones.
They have a chance to go to Final Four, bro. Everything gels right. They could be a Final Four national championship contender.
Yep.
Definitely.
Now, real quick, while we talking portal, we got a JP. We normally go ladies first, but I had to get the men out the way because I'll be honest, man. Like, I had to get the men out the way. I feel like the last few years, JP, portal, just overall game in general, we be wanting to talk about the ladies more. You know what I'm saying? It's so much that happens. And this year the portal was absolutely insane. I mean, I can't think of a time I've ever seen the nation's leading scorer enter the transfer portal. And we had that happen with Florida State's Tanaya Latson, now South Carolina Gamecock. We had the dynamic Malaysia Fulwiley leave and end up at LSU, which is insane. You had the defending champions just added probably the best big in the portal. And, Sarah Williams from, I believe it was Wisconsin. I mean, some of the things that's happened in the portal, and the portal is not even done. Like, the portal is closed as far as entering it, but all the players haven't even chosen where they're going to go. But, like, this is going to be insane. Like, you got Dawn returning most of her roster, but adding the nation's leading scorer and a 6'6" center, that's battle tested from the SEC. You have, USC, you're gonna look a lot different. Bringing in Jazzy Davison, which moved up to the top player in the country in the final rankings. You have, of course, like we were just talking about, LSU with Flaugier, Michaela Williams, and now Malaysia Fulwiley. Do I think that meshes? Not necessarily, because they all need the ball to make things happen. But I got to see it before I can completely rule it out. They need a big more than anything, and they missed out on Williams, so I don't know about LSU right now. But, man, when I tell you the portal's been jumping, and that's just, a couple teams off the top of my head, bro. But I got to get your thoughts.
Yeah, man. LSU, they got on the perimeter, they look good. Like you said, down in the paint area, they need some improvement. Dawn just reloaded, bro. Dawn definitely got herself what she needed, a big. And like you said, Watkins comes back next year. That's going to be a problem. The guards, great perimeter players and stuff. South Carolina's going to be tough, bro. You said UConn added a girl from Wisconsin?
Yeah, bro, 6'3" or 6'4" center. She averaged like 19 and 9.
Oh, she's going to be. That's all they need with the other three they got,
bro.
And I mean, the other two they got Fod and Sarah Strong, man. They and they got a top recruiting class coming in, so they're going to be tough.
Bro,
USC,
UConn might have the best front court in the country with Sarah Williams and Sarah Strong now.
They might be. Definitely, they might be. They're right back in the hunt again. USC did very well. the girl from Oregon, she's the number one player in the country now. She just overtook what's her name that's going to Oklahoma, the player from Texas.
Chavez.
Yeah, she overtook Chavez. She overtook her now as the number one player in some people's eyes. So she's going to USC next year.
Yep.
I don't know if we want to see Juju or not on the court, and everything. But when Juju comes back with this girl, man, they're going to be tough. Did Notre Dame pick up anybody in the portal? I didn't hear anything.
Bro, all I've seen for Notre Dame is players leaving so far.
Yeah, yeah, and Hannah's there, and I think one other player is there. So they're going to get somebody, man. But we'll see what happens. They're going to get somebody. So that's going to be very interesting too. Oh, also, Florida had a big pickup, Xavier Lee from Princeton.
Yeah, that was a big one too, a real big one. People thought he was going to St. John's, but he played in high school with one of the players that returned to Florida.
They're going to be good. Florida's going to be good. Will they win the national championship or the Final Four? It remains to be seen. Bro, that SEC is going to be tough next year, bro.
Yep.
SEC again.
Yep. Yo, real quick, we this isn't a portal thing, but a player we talked about a lot, JP, Caden Lewis, was going to be a Kentucky Wildcat. Now
Villanova,
a different Wildcat, Villanova, like you said. Listen, they got a dynamic player, man. I'm interested to see him, suit up under, the new head coach there, and be kind of the first heralded recruit, of the new staff and everything.
They did a good job considering some players left. Villanova's going to be a player next year, bro. They're going to be a team. They're going to have a team. Also, let's not forget Aaron Bradshaw transferring to Memphis.
I'm interested to see him play with Penny.
Yeah.
Before Penny, you know what I mean. But
yeah. Penny could probably get him to the next level, which the talent is there for him to get to the NBA.
Yeah, bro got to play like he got that Camden High jersey on again.
He got to play, get the Camden High jersey on again, man. The talent's there, bro. The talent is there for him to be a first round pick, and hopefully next year he'll do his thing, and he'll be loose next year. So Penny got a good one in Bradshaw, man. A lot of teams did what they had to do. Georgetown, they got a couple of good ones. So also the kid from Howard, he was a freshman. I think he was MEAC Player of the Year. He just transferred.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I wasn't happy about that, man. Like, Creighton, man. Like, all right, man. Like, it's not to be divisive, but to go from a HBCU, bro, like one of the meccas of black excellence, to play at Creighton is crazy, man. Like, he's a DMV native. I could have even seen if he went and just played at, for Maryland, man. But at the end of the day, I'm sure he got a nice little bag. He's gonna get a chance to show his game to a new set of eyes. So at the end of the day, good for that young man and his family. But it just, it's a different era with the portal. But you hate to see the HBCU get a talent like that and immediately lose them, to a school and that school.
Yeah, I thought he'd go to a bigger school too. I thought maybe a St. John's or a Georgetown or a North Carolina, somewhere like that. I was surprised he picked Creighton as well. Definitely surprised, but he's gonna lift that school up though, man. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's going to happen.
I hope he does his thing now, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do his thing, definitely. But yeah, bro, college basketball, as you said, is not done yet. All them people that got their preseason number one, hold on to that for a minute. Hold on for it. So we'll see. And another thing is too, we got to see if Tyron Stokes is going to play another year. He might even be in this class. So we'll see what happens. And he was at Kansas, and Kansas is high on the list. If he goes in playing college basketball early, he plays with Darren Peterson. Wow.
I'll be honest, man. Like he's from the Ville. You know, he got family there and everything. I would be shocked if he don't end up at Louisville, man. They've been recruiting that kid damn near since he was in the womb, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Louisville, they've done well too as far as the portal and stuff and having players come back. They're going to be a top 20 team this year too, man. So,
And JP, one thing that bodes well in this situation, you don't have sneaker companies at war. Either way, Adidas wins.
yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Kansas, Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
them schools like that. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Either way, Adidas is happy.
Well, you know what? Sneaker companies, like for instance, Cooper Flag was New Balance, and he played with play with Duke's a Nike school. So
Yeah.
you're getting away from that. Oh, let's go here. Players are playing where they're comfortable at, man. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a real good thing. Um, let's move on to the topic now of the NBA. Well, where do we start? I guess we got to start with the Lakers and the Timberwolves. And what did Onk say? UFC, KFC, whatever. Lakers at 5.
Yeah, they got sent home at 5.
They got sent. They went home at 5, man. And I think what got exposed last night with the Lakers is the lack of big men.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of a big man. The tallest player they had on the court was 6'9", LeBron. Hachimura, he's what, 6'8".
Yeah.
You know, they had problems down in the post area. Rudy Gobert, like Moses Malone last night, 27 and 24. I mean, man, he probably played the best game he played all year.
No, I agree. I actually, you read my mind, bro, because I tweeted that this morning. I said it's crazy that Rudy Gobert put up Moses Malone numbers in an elimination game on the Lakers like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
He was a beast around that basket, even rebounding. And I never see Rudy Gobert look better than last night.
and when you look at it, you know, of course, the box score doesn't tell the whole story. But if somebody told you Anthony Edwards was gonna have an off night and they would still get the Lakers out of here, you wouldn't even believe it.
Wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe it. You think you had to go for 35 or 40. I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you something, bro. Minnesota could do a lot of damage in these playoffs. I
Oh
even
yeah.
say they could go as far as the Western Conference Finals or maybe the Finals.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
they got the length. Excuse me. They got the length. They got a superstar guard. Mike Conley is a solid guard. They could do some damage, some serious damage in these playoffs. But
Randall playing on a high level.
yeah, I think one of the things the Lakers need to do in the offseason is get a defensive minded guard next to Luka. Because we all know Luka's not a great defender, great offensive player, definitely. But Luka will be okay next year, man. The Lakers will be good. They need to get themselves a big in the offseason. And LeBron will be 41. So, he'll be, so we'll see what happens with the Lakers. But they should have a solid team if they do everything right. Make a couple tweaks and adjustments here, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they definitely got to get some people that play some kind of defense, and a guard or another wing, whatever, and then a big, absolutely shit. If they can get two of them, for depth purposes.
Yeah,
And listen, bro, I'm with you on everything you said except the fact that Luka's not a great defender. Luka's not a defender at all, bro. Listen.
yeah, I know. I'm being nice, man. He's not because truth be told, man, they were going down him. They were going down the paint against him like they were like cars going down I-95, bro.
Bro, Luka was playing as much defense as I'm playing on my couch right now. Amazing, talent, but the defense, bro, would rather be doing anything in the world besides playing defense.
And he can defend when he wants to. We saw that in the playoffs last year at times.
Yeah,
I think one of the things is Luka has to get in a little better shape.
yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. Yeah, for sure.
he had a lot of injuries, and I think that has a lot to do with it as well. They'll be good next year, man. Luka got himself used to LA lifestyle and everything. He'll be fine, man. But the Lakers definitely got to tweak some pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, you get a chance to bring Luca in. You do the trade, man, but giving up easily one of the best bigs, probably the second best big in the world.
Hmm.
Considering B wasn't healthy. Um, that's a hurt piece when you play against a team with multiple capable big men. So that's just the way the game goes, man. As we know, man, it's talent, but matchups are everything. So,
Yeah.
LeBron had for his age, of course, a great season, but that brother and Luca, they need a vacation. Much as I'm sure they'd rather be playing. They need to go relax. LeBron need to go get in that cryo chamber. Like it was a lot of minutes on those guys. When you look at the fact that, you know, JJ Redick was literally running five guys with no subs at times. Like that's brutal, man. We can say whatever we want to say about lack of defense and of course the matchup.
Mhm.
Thinking about that from a perspective of like you play two, three, pickup games in a row, you start to feel it. So imagine NBA game against
Playing NBA game. Yeah.
you know that's rough, man. And then you factor in you know father time, you know man, whatever else.
Bro, LeBron playing at this level is amazing, man. People
Mhm.
say, well, he didn't do this. He's 40 years old. I mean, what do you all expect? This ain't LeBron from 10 years ago.
I
He's
mean,
40.
every other great we've seen play this late into their career was a role player. At this point,
Yep.
he's
Yep.
still an All NBA talent. Still an All NBA talent.
Yeah. Also, Will, we got to talk about your squad, man. The OKC Thunder, bruh. Man, they steam, bro. They're on a mission, bruh. But Will, I have to ask you a question though, because it came up yesterday. It's going to be a very interesting off season because the rumor mill is already out there that the Thunder don't make it at least to the NBA Finals. They might do some moving around. I saw one of the examples yesterday on Bleacher Report. They were talking about 4 first round picks, Hartenstein. What's the Case and Wallace, right? Number 22, Case and Wallace.
Yeah.
Wallace. And I forgot the other player. I think it's
Was
a
it
rookie. Who was that?
Jalen Williams?
It might have been Jalen Williams. Those three and 4 first round picks for Giannis. Will, would you do that trade?
I mean, so this might sound crazy, bro. This might sound crazy because Giannis is one of the best players we've ever seen. But for me personally, I want to say no from a fit perspective because Giannis takes away the spacing that is one of the main strengths for OKC. Um, Now if he's willing to just play center, then it's a different conversation if you let Chet stay at the four. But I don't think that's what happens, And Hartenstein, of course, he's nowhere near the level of Giannis, but he's excelled in the role that we've had him in. But in all actuality, man, you get a chance to pair Giannis with SGA, man, going into his prime, man. Fuck it, let's do it. You on mute, bro?
Bruh, that would be a major problem for the league. Now, me and one of my friends, we got into an interesting debate this morning because the draft is coming up. in a couple of days. He said he would trade if the Sixers got the number one pick. He would trade the number one pick and oh gosh, maybe Paul George. You throw him in there for Giannis. Well, I can't make that deal. And I told him, this is the problem with Philadelphia. We always do the wrong thing at the wrong damn time. He
Mhm.
said, yeah, but you're getting the top five player in the NBA with Giannis. But also, Giannis is 13 years older than Cooper Flag.
Yep.
So me personally, I wouldn't do it. I mean, he said, I guess Embiid will be there. But I think that'll be problems down in the paint too, Embiid and Giannis.
Yeah.
That
That's
wouldn't match.
that's some NBA 2K stuff, man. Like that's not a real fit.
It's not a real fit. If you manage to unload Embiid for something, then maybe it'll be a fit with him, Maxey, and McCain. That would be good. But it doesn't guarantee you a championship. I'd rather build with Cooper Flag for the next 10, 12 years or whatever and see what we got from there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's true because PG, yeah, you want to get off that contract, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not like they signed him for 10 years. They'll be off that contract soon enough. And he may or may not be there. If they decide to make a move with him. So at this point, if the Sixers do anything else, it's the youth movement is what they need to do. Maxi, McCain, and whoever they could bring in through the draft. Ideally a Cooper Flag. Maybe even if you can't get Cooper, you want a high upside player. With I mean, Dylan's a big guard. He could play alongside Maxi possibly, or even like Ace.
It's going to be a very interesting summer in Philadelphia, man. And starting, what's today? The first 10 days from now, Will. This time, 10 days from now, I might be doing a celebration. We might plant the flag. So we plant the flag, man. I'll be happy. But let's go over a couple of these other series. Houston, um, Houston Golden State. Very good series, man, so far. It's been chippy. It's been chippy lately. But what do you see for the rest of this series?
And I like the fact that Houston finally decided to really play to their strength and try to get up and down the court this last game, and you see it worked out for them. But they struggle when the game slows down, and they don't shoot free throws well overall as a team. And playing against Golden State, I think at the end of the day, the experienced team will prevail. Also, because you don't know what you'll get from like Jalen Green. He's a talented young player, but he's very inconsistent. I think that quietly, of course, Boone is a Rockets player. He's doing what he can do out there. Um, the Rockets are going as far as Sengun, of course, and Van Fleet as the vet, but really as far as Thompson takes them in the series, the defensive impact he made, you know, he stole the ball I think like 3 times just from Steph, had a block on Steph. He like his defensive pressure, really changed that game, and his athleticism on the offensive side brings something that nobody else has on that team. And the only player that Golden State has, I feel like that even can mirror that a little bit is Kaminga, but it's Thompson got a different gear, on the open floor. Um, but I think Houston, of course, they got a future, but I don't think they're there just yet. I think the chef got another signature performance, in the bag, man.
Yeah, we'll see. But this it won't surprise me if it goes 7, man. Also, well, we like to go over these series, and Boston, Orlando, that was to be expected. Cleveland, Miami, that was to be expected. Although that was a 50-point win the other night, I didn't expect that, but I expected Cleveland to sweep. Um, Also, Denver and the Clippers. That's going to be very interesting, especially tonight. I think it goes seven, but the Joker didn't have his typical Joker game, so that could definitely be a problem. Um, I'm trying to think what other series could be the Knicks and Detroit, bruh. That's a good series. What's the score of the game now, Will? As we're shooting this on Thursday night.
Hold on, they on commercial. Let me go to the app real quick. But Detroit trying to fight back, man. So right now it's 103-96 with just under 8 minutes left. New York is up, but they were up by way more. So Detroit is
Ye-
fighting back. Um, so we're gonna see if they can push that to 7. But we got to give a lot of credit, man, because Cade and that they really have turned the corner. Um, I personally think the Clippers out of here tonight. It's a competitive series, but Kawhi is a great player, but his next best player is the Joker in the playoffs. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I just don't see it. I think if Curry is able to up even a fraction of what he was doing in the last game, and Joker gets a little help. But I mean, they had like 7 players in double digits last game. They can continue that. I think they get the Clippers out of here, man. Kawhi, credit to Kawhi, he rested, at the right time, and he came back and he really turned up and looked like damn near. Now, listen, some people think this is crazy. I'm not talking about the flashy highlights of young Jordan, but Kawhi, outside of Kobe, is damn near a mirror image of Jordan when you look at his movements and how he gets to his mid range and all of that. Like that dude is an amazing player, man.
Well, it's like I always say, bro, about Kawhi, one of the best two-way players ever. And it's a shame, he has these knee injuries and stuff. And if Kawhi was completely healthy, he might be the best player in the game right now. He might have been. He might be if he remained healthy since 2019. He might have been the best player in the game the last 6 7 years if he remained. Excuse me, if he remained healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's glad. It's like you said. It's good to see him playing. You know what I mean, and not sitting out with the knee, with the knees flaring up and stuff. Because I mean, Kawhi is definitely one of the best players we've seen, and one of the best two-way players that we've seen. So he's a great player. I guess we covered most of the series in the NBA, haven't we?
Yep, we did.
Yeah, we covered the NBA. Let's move on to the world now. We're going to switch gears here. The world of the NFL draft. Number one pick. Oh man, doggone it. This is a dog. Yeah, Cam Ward, number one pick. A lot of people had him number one. Number two pick, Travis Hunter. But bruh, we got to get into it, man. You know that. We got to get into it real quick with his teammate, one Mr. Shador Sanders, bruh, son of legendary best quarterback I ever seen, Dion. Well, I'm not really, I don't really don't want to get deep into the dynamics and stuff of everything, but bruh, Shador should have been a first round pick, bruh. I mean, you might not have had him at number one or whatever, but Shador should have been a first round pick, bruh, because he's going to be competitive. They say he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. Well, Brady didn't have the strongest arm in the world neither. But he got the job done. And I really think this would have set a fire in Shakur as far as him being a quarterback going into the future and everything. So to me, man, it's like Come on, man. Come on. This dude, New Orleans needed a quarterback, and they passed up on him. It's the Giants never drafted a black quarterback. Not that they ever will at this point. Even though they got Russell Wilson and Jameis. So Jameis Winston. So I thought he should have been a first round pick. Definitely, maybe in my mind, New Orleans would be perfect at number 9. But the 5th round, somebody's getting a steal in that 5th round, bro. What do you think about this whole Shador thing?
I mean, I know you said you don't want to get too deep into it, but I feel like we can't bring it up and not, get into it at least a little bit. I just, looking at it even strictly from a football lens, you can't justify all of the quarterbacks that went ahead of him going ahead of him. I mean, Jackson Dart and numerous other quarterbacks who he outperformed, and like you said, there's the questions around arm strength. Arm strength definitely isn't everything. I mean, we see that Jamarcus Russell could throw like 80 yards, but his career didn't pan out. Like that. It's a lot more to the game. Shador's shown that he's a high IQ player, a clutch player, and he can make plays whether you're throwing to a generational talent or you're throwing to guys that weren't maybe highly recruited, whatever the case may be, and still make plays. I think it is a good old a mix of some things that may be somewhat legitimate questions, but a lot of it came down to personal preference and feelings. I think the good old boys club. I feel like they don't like the way Dion carries himself, but Dion was great, so great that you couldn't, turn him away, as a player, and now he's having success as a coach. And with Shador, he was raised by an all-time great. He has the confidence of an all-time great, and I don't know if that he'll be an all-timer, but I think he has for the succeed for sure. And one thing that I like a lot about Shador, even beyond on the field stuff, the kid didn't get drafted anywhere near what he thought he should have, but we think he should have. But what did he do as soon as he got to Cleveland? He went to a high school and talked to some kids. You know, he's a different type of person, a good young man. I won't call him a kid because he's a young man, but that those are the things that you can't measure, in a 40 time, or in a drill. These are the things that, the confidence he carries himself with. These are the things that almost borderline irrational confidence sometimes is the difference between a guy being a career journeyman or never making an impact and believing in himself and keeping, betting on himself and working on his game and becoming something that maybe no one thought that he could, or not getting picked where he thought and taking it personal to the point where you push yourself to greatness, and I think, all of those things are possible with Shador, I hope he goes and lights it up. And if we're being honest, New Orleans would have been a good spot for him. New York, even though they needed to do some other things. But I think that all in all, I wish he got drafted by Cleveland higher because, he did lose out on some money. But he ended up in a good spot when you think about the full picture because Deshaun Watson, I'm not wishing it on him, but it seems like he gets hurt every season. And, they drafted another quarterback and they got a full QB room right now with the vet Flacco, but the job is going to be up for grabs. And we know somebody that's going to be trying to, make their mark and be up for that challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything you said, bro. And like you said, from visiting the schools to, working and stuff. And that's one thing about Deion Sanders, that work ethic, man. He had a legendary work ethic. So, That's definitely going to rub off on Shador. I think Shador's going to be fine. I think he's the quarterback of the future in Cleveland. So we'll see what happens from there, man. But here's a kid who's been a good kid, never got any trouble or anything, doesn't have a checker pass, can't find out bad about him, and he still went to the fifth round. That's crazy, man. Like I said, he should have been a first round pick. Definitely. You don't want to take him number one? Fine. But he should have been anywhere from 10 to 32. I meant 9 to 32, definitely. So, it's a good thing he got drafted, him and his brother Shiloh. So yeah, man, Dion keeps on doing it. Shouts to the Sanders family, man. Of course, we wish both these young men very well. The Eagles also had a good draft, bro. G.I. Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. What do you think about that?
And the Eagles, man, they got a thing for Alabama defensive players, and they've been recruiting the SEC very well, man, or drafting the SEC, man. Listen, they that was a great pick, man, great pick, and I even like some of the free agents, that they gave a chance to, as far as like some of the undrafted players, some of the local kids and everything, man. I like what Philly did.
Man, let me tell you something. Howie Roseman might be the best GM in all of sports, bro. Definitely in the NFL, man. He always finds a way to get his man, and that defense is younger and they've gotten better, bro. So yeah, the Eagles gonna be at 100 again next year, bro. So we'll see what's going to go on with that. I guess we covered our bases with the NBA, college basketball, and football. How well?
I think so, man. Overall, I do want to give a shout out to Jersey, specifically South Jersey. We had a number of young men realize their dreams on draft night, and not all of them were drafted, but a lot of them got training camp invites and signed contracts even after the draft. Coach Fran Brown had a couple Syracuse players, Camden kid, get that call. It's a beautiful thing, man. And Jersey's a small state. As far as the mileage of the state, the size of the state. But when you talk any sport, man, you can't leave us out of the conversation. Hold on, you got to unmute that.
Yeah, I know. Damn, man. I keep on talking and forget I'm on mute sometime, bro. Like, damn. Yeah, man. You can never cut yourself out of the conversation. And well, I guess it's our final segment for the night, man. I guess if we got any more, let me know. But man, we gotta talk about what I saw on Friday, man. And that is one Quincy Wilson, 17 years old now, from Bullis High School in Potomac, Maryland. Bruh. He just ran the fastest relay leg by a high schooler on American soil in this country's history. 43.99 relay leg. Well, I don't know if you saw the video of it yet, or others out here who watch our podcast. If anybody else has seen it, bruh, he he got the baton 5 meters behind the fifth place. Was it? Yeah, fourth or fifth place guy, and he was mowing them down like they were standing still, bruh. He just couldn't get the first guy as the first place, but they also set a national high school record. Bullets did. They ran 306.31. Kingston College, shout outs to them from Jamaica. They went 305, no, 30, I'm sorry, 305, 90, 93. Well, might have been the best race I ever seen, especially when you consider who was running, what was at stakes, and everything, bruh. It was just amazing to watch Quincy Wilson just run everybody down except for the person who was winning in this relay, bro. And anybody out there who watches our podcast or listens to us, you got to see this video for yourself, man. Quincy was mowing them down. And also, we got to shout out to the other three young men that ran for Bullets as well, man. They ran a great race, and they'll be back next year. His coach Joe Lee, he said after the race, he said, "I got 364 days to figure this out. It'll be Quincy's senior year, so we're going to see what happens with Bullets next year, man." But it was the highlight of the meet, bruh. And of course, you see Quincy Wilson, man. What do you think about Quincy?
Listen, man, I'm late to the track and field game, so I can only speak from what I've seen in my time, and he's the most impressive young runner I've seen, man. He just has it, man. Even if he doesn't run his best race, it might be somebody else's best race. Like he just has it, man. He's a star, an Olympian at 16. Um, you know, special, man. To be honest, and I don't use this like verbiage lightly, but it's a privilege, to just sit back as a fan and see, where his career is going to take him, man, because he really has it. God willing, he's healthy, and we just get to see it unfold. When I think about it, of course, this is a different sport. The only thing I could think of it as like, you know, we heard hype of a kid from Ohio, playing basketball, and then we saw him for ourselves, and he was as good as, if not better than, we were told he was, and the expectations were through the roof, and he exceeded even those expectations. This is the equivalent of that to me in track and field, and it's just great, man. I can just really get to see, a career like that unfold. You don't like, of course, there's talented, athletes in every sport, but it's not every day that you get to see, an all time great doing their thing.
Oh man, Will, I agree with everything you said, man. About and you know what's crazy? His freshman year, his coach said that his coach Joe Lee said, shout outs to him, man. He might be the best sprint coach in the country with high schoolers right now, by the way. With the Bullets program. They're really doing it right, and they're doing a great job down there. But his coach said that he compared him to LeBron James in high school. Not LeBron James as a pro, but at the same stage LeBron James was in high school. And you know what? To be honest with you, in some ways, it might be even a little bit more.
Mhm.
And what I mean by it being a little bit more is LeBron didn't have security in high school the way Quincy has. I don't know if you saw the indoor meet they had down in Virginia, and kids were breaking down barricades. It's like a stampede to go see him. He had to run out the doggone arena to get to
That's,
to avoid the crowd.
that's crazy.
Yeah. But I think he does have security, though. He needs security, man, at this point, man. And I do want to talk about something, man. Going this a very little rant. I know the young lady. I know she probably wasn't thinking in the moment or anything like that, man. But after he got done his race, immediately after he got done his race, this girl like took a selfie with him. You could tell he didn't want to be bothered. This dude just ran his heart out, just ran it. He's tired as I don't know what, and she's trying to take a selfie with him. Let the man get his breath. He might not even want to talk. Let him do what he needs to do. If you see him like about 20 minutes, 30 minutes later or whatever, hey, Quincy, can we take this selfie real quick or something? It's cool. Then a pen relay official comes over. He doesn't say a thing, taking a selfie. You're an official. Why are you taking a selfie with this young man who just got done running the fastest relay leg when it includes anybody? He can't even catch his damn breath. Well, people putting the camera in their face trying to take pictures. Come on, man. I think that's disrespectful, and I think it's wrong. Like you don't do that. And then I'm seeing some of these clowns online. Oh, Quincy ain't take a picture with her. Man, shut up. Do you not understand this man just came off the track? Literally, just got done running. Like, come on, man. Y'all need to stop that, man. For real. Let him catch his breath and let him get his bearings together. It was crazy. I thought that was crazy and disrespectful, bro.
I agree. I did see that clip, and to be honest with you, this is something Bianca and I have talked about a lot. Like not just with Quincy, just with sports in general. I feel like they shouldn't force players or athletes to do media like literally when a game or a race just ended. Because if you've ever done literally anything, if you even jogged, like you know
Mhm.
how adrenaline works, and having to have a mic shoved in your face, and answer questions, and they're expected to do this whether they just won the biggest game of their life or lost the biggest game of their life, whatever the case may be, and they're expected to handle themselves with class and grace. But they're human, you know. If I just had a tough loss, I don't want to be bothered, or if I just finished, like you said, give me a moment, to maybe take in what just happened. I just made history, whatever the case may be. Give me a second you know. Um, but that's sadly not the world we live in, man. But I think that would maybe change in some of the post game interviews and things that we've gotten sometimes, and
Mhm.
that's why now you see some teams they'll just walk straight to the locker room. They won't even stay out there and stuff like, um, because that's just the nature of what it is today.
Yeah. Very good points, man. It's the same thing. Like, what would drive me crazy as an athlete or a coach for that matter, bruh, is when they sit up there and interview you between plays or timeouts. I'm trying to play a game and you interviewing me at the end of the first quarter.
Yep.
I mean, how do y'all come up with this stuff? I'm
Yeah.
trying to win the damn game.
Like JP, we see you're down by 30. What are you gonna do? Like, not talk to you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get back on the court.
Yo, who used to crack me up, Will? Who used to crack me up? Pop. Pop used to crack me up, man. With his answers when they be asking. Pop, you can tell. I think Pop even told somebody one time, like, that's a dumb question to ask. What do you think? Or stuff like that. Pop said
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Pop was hilarious. Like, and he
He
wasn't
was
even.
hilarious. Pop was hilarious, bruh. Oh, and Will, one more thing we got to touch on too, bruh. While we on these little rants, bruh. Tyrese Halliburton spot, man. Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Come on. He lucky Giannis ain't throw him in the damn stands.
Yeah, for sure. He was
Throwing that
out of
flag
pocket.
in his throwing that flag in his face and stuff. Come on, you little ass man, and going to sit up there and try to get him. He talked to him like he was talking to a little kid, bro. Like he was talking to his little child. The way Giannis was in front of him, man. Come on, pops. And you know what gets me? They sit up here talking about John Moran's pop and all that stuff. There, this man right here is more obnoxious than what he was.
I mean, I feel like T Morant, like he was lightheartedly talking trash,
Yeah.
from the perspective of like a former player. I think, with Halliburton that was more along the lines of almost like when Flaw J Johnson's brother ran on the court that time,
Yep. Yep.
no, and I see some people debating was like the punishment excessive. I would say yes and no. Yes, from the lens of did they have to bar him for the foreseeable future? No, but we don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, whether it's a punishment from the law, the team, a consequence in real life, you can
Mhm.
control how somebody responds to the stupid shit that you do. You can't.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is not do the dumb stuff. Like it's true. Giannis could have sent that man to the moon. And you could see Giannis thinking in real time. How much money will he be able to sue me for if I put my hands on him? So he didn't do it. But no, you can't do stupid stuff like that, man. Like, come on now.
Nah, bruh. I thought it was ridiculous his behavior. I mean, I understand you want to root for your son, root for the Pacers, but after a game is over and this man just lost the game, you don't come up there and throw the Indiana Pacers towel in his face, man. Come on, bruh. That's disrespectful, man.
For
That's
sure.
that's disrespect. All kinds of emotions going through his head. The season's over with or not. He don't know if he's gonna be in Milwaukee next year, and you sit there doing disrespectful shit like that. Come on, pops. You know better than that, man.
You gotta just have some common damn sense. How would you have reacted if he came like let's say Milwaukee won that series like that and
Mm-hmm.
came over and threw a flag in your son's face or in your face, how would you react?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And Will, let's go into our final topic of the day. I don't know if you heard this or not, but there is this is not sports related. Did you hear about this thing going around? It's catching on social media like wildfire, bruh. It's about can 100 men handle a silverback ape gorilla, bruh, bruh. I don't know what has gotten to the human mind or what people think they're going to do. If you don't have a damn weapon, I don't give a damn if you had 150 men. You are not taking out a silverback ape gorilla. Bruh, this animal can lift up to 1,750 pounds. That's more than your damn car.
Yep.
And not to mention the fangs on his teeth. That alone will kill you. The grip of his hands.
Yep.
Well, where these people come from with this shit? Talking about some, oh, can 100 men handle a silverback ape gorilla?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, the internet is one of the best and worst things we've ever had. It allows people every single day to show or remind us how stupid they can be. Because
Right.
I could tell none of y'all ever went to a zoo, none of y'all ever read anything or watched National Geographic because that is like idiotic. And then something else I saw linked to that conversation, bro. It was a picture. It was like a grizzly bear, the gorilla, I think like a lion
Mm.
and a hippo, right? And somebody was like, it was like, which one would you take on if you got to survive for like 20 minutes, right? To get like $20 million or something stupid.
Shit.
And this girl was like, I'm gonna pick the hippo because what are they gonna do to me on land, right?
Shit.
Again, he shows you how stupid people are. We're not talking about a shark. A hippo can move on land, like you know what I mean. And a hippo is strong as hell and dangerous. Like people don't know, man. They need to go watch some YouTube, some Discovery, whatever.
What's that? National Geographic and
Geographic.
Animal Kingdom, bro. Let me tell you something. I don't want to be nowhere near no wild ass animals, man. You must be out your damn mind. And another thing is too, a silverback ape doesn't bother anybody.
Nope.
But if you bother him,
Yep.
guess what? You got a serious problem. Man, them things will rip your face. Do you think people understand they will rip the skin off your face?
Yep.
It can crush your skull, bruh.
Yep.
A silverback ape gorilla could crush your skull, could crush your skull
And not break a sweat.
and not break a sweat.
Listen,
And you,
bro. Listen, bro. They think. Listen, bro. You gonna laugh, but they think the Jim Crow beatings was something, brother. Please, we will see how bad he whooped the first man's ass, brother. All the surviving 99 will be trampling each other, trying to get the fuck up out of there.
Trying to get up, and like we said, we're talking about with no weapons. We're talking about, and then some idiot had the nerve to say, "Oh, well, I'll put him in a chokehold."
A chokehold.
Bruh, that thing will throw you. You jump on a silverback ape, silver back ape gorilla's back, and see how far he'll throw you. He'll throw you like a damn football.
Bro, these are the same people that run when they hear a dog bark, don't even see the dog. Look, they think
Shit.
they're gonna fight a gorilla. Come on, man.
Come on, man. 100 people, 100 men. Man, you don't understand. These animals are strong. Man, look. Anything that can lift can lift up a car, and you really think you got a chance? Man, you better stop. You better stop, bruh. These people crazy, bruh.
They need to say no to drugs.
They need to say no to the crack or whatever they are, bruh. There ain't no way in the world you be able to handle a silverback ape gorilla. I don't want to handle none of them. Do they understand a cheetah can run at 70 miles an hour? Do they understand that?
Nope, they don't.
Shit, a cheetah. That's like you driving a car down damn 295.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can mess with them animals if you want. Talk about can you handle a lion? Man, you see how sharp them teeth are? Man, that thing will eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
These people crazy, man. But yeah, man, I ain't messing with no wild animals. I don't even want to mess with them even at the zoo, if they are domesticated or whatever. Nah, man, I don't care. Them things are strong. Them gorillas and stuff. And Will, when we get done, I gotta tell you a quick story about the gorilla.
Sure.
About it. It's not appropriate for this, man. Because when I tell you this, man, you're gonna be laughing your ass off, man. When I tell you this, and
All right.
it involves some people that you know, man. What they used to say, man. They used to say, well, when I tell you this, man, you're gonna be crying, man. But yeah, but hey, brother, great show, man. Always, you know, always entertaining. Of course, thank you to our listeners out there and people who watch the podcast. Definitely thank you guys. And also, like we always say, run up them likes, share these videos and everything else. But Will, you got any shout outs, good brother?
Of course, man. Shout out to my co-host, to my family, but also, man, shout out to the gift of a new WNBA season that's upon us, man. Preseason kicking off, and the ladies will be keeping us locked in for the summer, man. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. People get sad when the sports year is over, but nah, I got the WNBA and track and field to keep me going. So it's sports is all year round for me. So and like you said, WNBA is exciting. Track and field is one of my that's one of my three favorite sports, along with football and basketball. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, man, shouts to the listeners, and of course, man, shouts to my co-host Will, man, who makes this podcast go. And he's really the straw that stirs the drink. So definitely shouts to him. But on behalf of Will and JP, till we see y'all next time, we say have a good week and enjoy the sports and what's
Yep.
going on now. Peace.
Peace.